Illegal rat hole mining in Meghalaya, particularly in its East Jaintia Hill district, has come into the limelight since the murderous attack on well-known Shillong-based anti-mining activist Agnes Kharsing in November 2018 and the death of at least 15 miners in a mine in that area last December. Rat hole mining is being carried out in the state in spite of the ban by the National Green Tribunal and the Supreme Court. The attack on Kharsing and fellow activist Amita Sangma was allegedly masterminded by influential mine owners who enjoy the state's political patronage. When the Sadak Se Sansad team visited Kharsing at her house in Shillong, there were armed policemen to guard her. Even after 4 months having passed, she is still to fully recover from the injuries caused by the assault. The operation to bring out the bodies of the miners is still on. Local residents complain that with huge tracts of land going for mining, they've not only lost their traditional means of livelihood, agriculture, but it's also causing loss of their natural water bodies. These water bodies have been their source of everyday use, including drinking water.
In 2017, I was called by the people from those certain villages in East Jaintia Hills, and they have told us that their land was taken away. They were doing cultivation, and a lot of blasting is done under where they stay. And these people, when I say why don't you talk with them, those people say, the big Mafia people, they say bring the rope and we'll hang you. So these people are scared, so they called us. So when I went there, I took one media, and we brought out a press release 14 January 2017. And they told us that the water is contaminated. While coming back, we talked to some woman. They're carrying all the clothes in this, we call it kho. So it is made out of bamboo. So they said that we have to go a long way to wash the clothes and drink water. So I said, don't you get water? They said the rich people, they buy the water. And some of them, they get water given by cement plants. They come and bring water, and then they all take water. You have your own land, but the water has been destroyed. So you have to wait for these people to come and give you water.
Experts like Professor O.P. Singh of the Department of Environment at the NEHU, who have been studying the region's water bodies, agree with the locals.
Coal contains pyrite, with iron sulfide, and when it reacts with water and air, so it forms sulfuric acid. And when that sulfuric acid somehow reaches to water bodies, so those water bodies become acidic. The acidity is measured in terms of pH, in pH unit, and the pH 7 is neutral, and below 7 is acidic. pH has gone down to around 3. So you can say that it's highly acidic in Meghalaya, particularly in Jaintia Hill. And due to this acidity, the water has become devoid of any life. So you will not find any fish, frogs, or any higher animals in water of Jaintia Hill. Acidic water is not good for health. The aspect is that nobody has studied so far.
Singh's study was taken note of by the NGT in 2014 when it ordered a ban on rat hole mining in the state. The petitioners, All Demasa Students' Union from neighbouring Assam, sought a ban on it as the water river Kopili was turning acidic and depriving them of drinking water. In the East Jaintia Hills district too, residents are facing the same situation, but they are afraid of opposing illegal mining due to the influence that the mine owners enjoy.
Whenever these trucks are being found in the highway, they don't pay chalan. They don't, under the way bridge, it seems they pay everyone to Dalal and police and enforcement. Everyone has their cut.
Professor Singh too talked about the threat to his student safety. The Supreme Court has refused to lift the ban on transportation of the already mined coal from the region. But that has not led to a stop to the illegal activity. Huge heaps of freshly mined coal can be seen everywhere in and around Klerihut, the district headquarters. But no one is allowed to click photos.
Today we have brought you this episode of Sadak Se Sansad with a lot of difficulty. I am in a place which is actually a beautiful lake, about 60 kilometers from the Meghalaya state capital, Shillong. To my right is this highway where it will take you to Joai, which is the headquarters of West Jaintia Hills, and to the left, where you can see the trucks and the vehicles moving, is to Hat, which is the headquarters of East Jaintia Hills. Hat is also known for red hole mining. The quality of the water is very different from what we saw in Hat. The story that we brought to you today is about people living in Hat and that area where red hole mining continues. What we saw was that massive fear on the ground with the common people. They don't want to come on camera to talk about their how the red hole mining is affecting their lives, particularly their everyday needs like drinking water, water to wash their clothes. They took us to a lot of places where we could click some of the photos, and that too clandestinely, because we were throughout tailed people who actually run this illegal business. We're also interested in knowing who we are and where have we come from. So every photograph, every shot that we had shown you in this video is clicked clandestinely.
I think the genesis of the problem goes back to the time when the 6th schedule was made, and when Meghalaya was just born, and the Indian government decided to keep Meghalaya's mining outside the ambit of the Mining Act. Number 2 is the size of the seams. The seams that we have in Meghalaya are very narrow strips. So it's not feasible to actually mine the coal here in a scientific manner. The third part of it is that ever since mining started and the money that was got from mining, because obviously investment levels are very low and returns are very high. So everybody and their uncles wanted to get into mining, and now there was no attempt made to ensure that the revenue, the wealth generated from mining was diffused at least evenly among the people of the area. If we go back to early 90s, timber trade was banned. We found that in West Khasi Hills there was 2 generations of people who were involved in the timber trade and who did not know how to get back to agriculture. And no attempt was made to build up their capacity to take up jobs other than the timber related jobs. And immediately the fallout was that we had the birth of militant organization called HNS. Now I feel that here in the case of Jaintia Hills as well, the situation is very similar. The land owners, the mine owners are concerned. They've made the money and they've invested it in real estate everywhere. I think now a massive awareness campaign has to be carried out. It took Agnes Karshian getting beaten up for them to wake up to that problem.
Sitting MP and Congress candidate Vincent Pala has sought lifting of the Supreme Court ban on rat hole mining, claiming that it has deprived the means of livelihood of the local people.
The political economy also thrives on this illegal trade. So somebody will have to say, okay, Yeah.
देश मेरा रंग रेज ये बाबू घाट घाट यहाँ घटता जादू देश मेरा रंग रेज ये बाबू
Worried about election results? Don't worry. India has had 10 governments, 6 of which have been coalitions, and stock markets have risen. Elections don't matter. Log on to quantumamc.com to know more. Quantum Mutual Fund. Investor first. Hamesha. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. Please read all scheme-related documents carefully.